Good morning from Disturbia on the 29th of October. Of course, it's another dull, dingy, dirty day here in Disturbia. It is raining again. Remember that song by Supertramp, It's Raining Again? We have two seasons in here. We have Glow Ball and Ra In. It's all for ball. Crazy. Recently, I have been on Quora and getting quite a bit of blowback on my comments that Joseph is the firstborn son of Jacob Israel, and Joseph is the patriarch of Messiah through Ephraim. People just do not want to believe the truth. They kick, they scream, they pull their hair out, and they'll pull yours out too if they can, to make you believe these lies, because that's what they've been taught their whole life. And, I mean, if people want to believe that Messiah is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, that's their prerogative, but it is not in the Bible. And just yesterday, somebody wrote me that he believed that I was making this up. I'm just making this up as I go along. And somebody else said that too, and I'm not making it up. It's in the Bible, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. That is why Isaiah mentioned this methodology, taught us how to read the Bible, because there are lies in the Bible as well. And I know that we're taught, the Bible is the Word of God, and either it's all true and perfect and infallible and unerring, or it's not, and you can throw it away. Well, it's not really that cut and dried. We're told and admonished to study and show ourselves approved, and that's the reason why. Because not everything is black and white. It's mixed and merged. This is a methodology of Satan. This is part of his melting pot program to conflate all issues to the point of irrecognizability. Who is Israel? Who is Judah? Who is Esau? Who is the Jew? These are all issues that need to be cleared up, and the church continues conflating issues, continues confusing people. And of course, the Catholics are told that outside the church there is no salvation. So you must believe the church doctrines and dogmas. And we're headed that way now with this one world order, this new Atlantis. This is ecumenism. This is the purpose of ecumenism, to make us believe that we're all the same. We all have the same belief. We're all these so-called Abrahamic religions. You see how they just put all of the children of Abraham in one pot and stir them up. It's all one thing. And it's not. You have to read the Bible to understand it. I'm not saying that I have any kind of a handle or a grip on all truth or a monopoly on perfect doctrine. But one thing I have gleaned just simply from reading the Bible a couple times was that Judah cannot possibly be the patriarch of Messiah. One reason being that he married a Canaanite woman, very much akin to Esau. There are quite a few parallels between Esau and Judah. Esau married Hittites. Esau married Ishmaelite woman. Ishmaelites are the children of Abraham and Hagar. God said he would make great nations of them, and he has. Look at the Arab nations. So, really, I just want to say again and again, please read your Bible. And I'm poised now to read parts of it to you also, just so that people realize that I'm not making this stuff up. But as Isaiah said, you must interpret line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, and what does not align with the character of God, which is only good, right? His law is perfect, he is righteous, he is merciful, and he sent his firstborn son to the earth to be slaughtered by mankind. By creation, slaughtered God. And they're looking to do it again. They're looking to do it again, only this time on their own terms, because Satan was quite taken aback at what happened, you see. But the minions of Satan are just as deluded as Satan is, even though I do not believe Satan is that deluded. He knows what's coming. He is Father Time. He knows that in time there is a beginning and an end, and with God there is just eternity. There is no beginning and there is no end. And once we reach the end, that means Satan is going to receive his eternal punishment. So, without further ado, I'd like to just expound more upon this idea. It's not only an idea, but it is the truth that Joseph is the patriarch. It cannot be any other way. Joseph was the son of the true marriage between Jacob and Rachel. And I know that there is, I read it the other day, I'm not sure where it is in the Bible, but it does say that the firstborn is always the firstborn and nothing else. But you see, God, this is probably a Talmudic tenet, because the Talmudists do not want you to believe in Messiah. They do not want you to know the truth. They've invented myriad plots and plot twists to fool people. And they're doing a grand heck of a job. But a remnant will be saved, because the remnant is searching for the truth. The remnant is ardent. The remnant is zealous to know the truth and also to be a witness unto the truth. Joseph was a firstborn between the shepherd and the shepherdess. Rachel was a shepherdess. So was Jacob. Joseph got a coat. Messiah also had a garment on. Messiah's garment was made of one thread, and it was spun through from the top to the bottom. Incredible. And this garment was sold. They cast lots for it. Where that garment is today, Edom probably has it. Jacob was constantly sending his son Joseph out to see what his wicked sons were doing. God knows what they were doing with that flock. And at one point, Joseph told his brothers about his dream, that they would all bow down to him, and that made them mad. And of course, Judah the ringleader decided that he was going to sell his brother Joseph into slavery, and they did. And Joseph became very powerful under the Pharaoh of Egypt. And when all the children of Jacob, Israel, were starving in Canaan, they went down to Egypt. And guess what? They all bowed down to Joseph, including Judah. Am I making this up? Just read the Bible. I'm not making it up. You know, with words, people can do so much, and yet you cannot create reality just by speaking. That's abracadabra. That's speak magic. That's spell magic. It can't be done. Read the Bible. Please read it. I know it's hard. I've told you many times, so I'm not going to repeat myself here, but it can be done, and the God will help you. The more you apply your heart unto wisdom, the more he will help you understand it. And the Bible will become alive to you. It was never alive to me, but that's why I gave up reading the Old Testament. But my mother kept chipping away at me, hammering away. Read the Bible, read the Bible. Of course, she wasn't talking about the so-called Old Testament. And when I was reading it and telling her things, she was appalled. Don't read that. Go right back into the New Testament. I said, what do you mean? There's nothing old or new with God. This is a lie of Satan. He wants to make you believe, oh, that was old, and we've got a New Testament now, and everything in the Old Testament has been abrogated. No, God does not change. God knows the end from the beginning, so there's no reason for God to change his mind about anything. There's a psalm, I was just reading it the other day, that said that he decided to cast off Joseph and choose Judah. Come on. God would never do that. And yet people choose to believe these lies over the truths that are in the Bible, over the everlasting truth that's in there. So anyway, we've got here in chapter 46 of Genesis, Jacob goes to Egypt. And he says, I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again, and Joseph shall put his hands upon thine eyes. That was God's promise. Who put his hands on Jacob's eyes when he died? Joseph, not Judah. Judah married a Canaanite woman. She died. Judah had 3 sons with her. His two firstborn sons were struck dead. They were so evil. God struck them dead. They weren't going to have a seed. They were just too evil. Can you imagine? Saying that this evil is a patriarch of Messiah? That alone should be indication enough that this is a doctrine of demons, and it's a doctrine of Satan who laughs at anybody who believes in it. This is why Satan ridicules mankind, because we are so gullible and we believe what we're told by the experts. Well, they have a PhD. I'll tell you what that means. It means Doctor of Divinity, philosophy, divinity. This is all about the divinity of mankind. The promise of Satan to mankind in the garden. I will make you a god. Just eat your firstborn son. Eat his flesh and drink his blood. Eat the fruit of your tree and you'll be a god. So anyway, so that's that. And all of the children of Israel went down to Egypt, and guess what? It says here in chapter 47 of Genesis, verse 12, and Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread. Who is the bread of life? The Messiah. Where was the Messiah born? Bethlehem. Bethlehem means house of bread. This is in the Bible. I'm not making it up. And it says here, there was no bread in all the land, but Joseph fed his family and others as well. So let's go on. Now we've got here in chapter 47, 29, and the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph. He did not call Judah, who was the fourth born of the counterfeit marriage, which wasn't a marriage really at all, but it was consummated with Leah, who had weak eyes. What does that tell you? And her children did too. Not all, though. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die, and he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. But I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. So much for cremation, which is also a doctrine of demons. This ashes to ashes, dust to dust, is not found in the Bible. It is a lie of the devil. Every body burnt is a body burnt to Baal. God says mankind shall be buried and resurrected at the last day. The body The soul returns to God. Ecclesiastes 12, I think it's the last verse. But I will lie with my fathers, bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, swear unto me. And he sware unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon his bed's head. And it came to pass after these things, that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And Joseph took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob, and said, behold, thy son Joseph is come unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself, and sat upon the bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz, in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful, which is the name of Ephraim, and multiply thee, which is the name of Joseph. Thou shalt increase of people, and will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. Everlasting. That doesn't mean that God changed his mind along the way and said, oh, oops, I got to give it to Judah. That is made up. That is a made-up narrative. And now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. What's going on here? Well, Jacob was saying, your sons are better than mine. He put the sons of Joseph above his own sons. And then you'll get people that say, oh, Ephraim has been disappeared. He doesn't exist anymore. Those are lies out of the pit of hell. That's not what God says. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. I don't know if Joseph had other children. Maybe somebody does know, and if you know, please let me know. And as for me, when I came from Padan Aram, by the way, means field of the earth. Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way, when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephratah. And I buried her there in the way of Ephratah. The same is Bethlehem. So what's happening here? We're being told that Ephratah is the same as Bethlehem. And Messiah is of the tribe of Ephraim. He was born into it. Of course, Messiah is God. But for the sake of continuity and congruity, he was born into the tribe of Ephraim. In Ephraim, which is Israel, and Ephraim is Bethlehem. You see how this all works together? God is showing us here the truth. And yet when you tell people the truth, they'll say, you're making that up. Why do they say that? Because they haven't read the Bible, and if they have not read it with any kind of an understanding, and they have not interpreted it line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. You see, he could not see, but he knew who was who, nevertheless. Because God gave him the insight, even through his blindness. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God has showed me also thy seed. Can you imagine? Miracle. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life long unto this day, God, Jesus, is the bread of life. the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless these lads, and let my name be named upon them, and on the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. And he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He shall also become a people, he shall also be great. And truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seeds shall become a multitude of nations. And he blessed them that day, saying, In these shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh, and before Judah. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite, with my sword and with my bow.